Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, it's your man KSS, and we are ranking the top 20 NBA players in the NBA right now, and I'm going to give you my list. Now, the NBA has never been deeper than it is today. Superstars aren't just dominant scorers, they're playmakers, defenders, leaders, and sometimes even revolutionaries. But ranking them, that's the fun part. So today, we're breaking down my top 20 players in the NBA right now, from Shea at 1 to Devin Booker at 20 to Booker at 20. Every spot matters, and I'll explain not just why each player belongs here, but also why they don't rank higher or lower. Let's begin. Coming in at number 20, I already spoiled it, but we have Devin Booker. Number 20, we start with Devin Booker because he's one of the best. He's one of the most skilled scorers in the NBA. Let's be real. A player who can give you 30 on any given night with that smooth mid-range game and deep three. But why is he not higher? It comes down to the fact that while he is an elite scorer, he doesn't quite bring the two-way impact or playmaking of others ahead of him. In today's NBA, being just a scorer, even an elite one, isn't enough to quite crack the top 15. Still, he's too good to leave off the list, which is why that's why he anchors the top 20 and barely makes his list at number 20. Barely making the top 20, obviously. Number 19, we got Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi at 19 might feel low. After all, we've seen him be a Finals MVP, two-way shooting, a top 5 player in his prime. Still technically under 35, but he's definitely an older 2010 superstar in the league right now. But availability matters, and his injuries and load management mean he simply doesn't dominate over a full season the way he used to in the late 2010s, in the mid to late 2010s. That's why he's not higher. And he's not even as good as he was in the 2016 to 2021 period. Why is he here not lower? Because when Kawhi does play, he's still elite. A mid-range assassin, a strong defender, and a playoff riser, even though he had declined as a defender tremendously. But he's still a playoff riser, a mid-range assassin, and a solid defender. Even limited, Kawhi is better than most players in the league. Okay, but he's still not better than number 18, who we have Kevin Durant. Number 18 is KD. Yes, KD, one of the greatest scorers of all time, in my opinion, the second greatest scorer of all time. But at 36 years old, he's not quite the same takeover force night to night. He's still an efficient, near unstoppable shooter, but the athletic dominance isn't there anymore. He's above Booker and Kawhi because he's still more consistent than both. And even in decline, he commands defensive attention like almost no one else. Even though he's not as athletic as 2010's KD, he's still that same shooter he is. In fact, slightly even better in my opinion. But he's not higher because at this point, younger stars are just impacting winning more consistently. And the defensive attention elite, but I mean, when we talk about impacting winning and what KD's done in the playoffs, pretty limited over the last couple seasons. Which is why coming in at number 17, we got another one of his contemporaries, number 17, LeBron James. So 40 years old and still top 20. That's absurd. Like, that is elite. I understand y'all might think it's a little low for LeBron, but this is absurd. This is elite, especially for the last two guys. I know you might think it's a little low, but why isn't he higher then? Because while LeBron is still elite in spurts, he's no longer able to dominate 75 plus games at an MVP level like the top 15 really can. The defense comes and goes, and he picks his spots. And the playoff success has not really been there the last couple of years. But why is he not lower? Because he's still LeBron. Okay, he's still capable of 28-8 in a big playoff series. Still one of the smartest players ever, and still bends defenses with his presence. Even on the back nine of his career, he's ahead of legends and 2010's contemporaries like KD and Kawhi. But I still can't put him any higher because of some of the things I highlighted, and hopefully y'all will understand my reasoning. Maybe not agree, but still understand. Coming in at 16, we got Jalen Williams, J-Dub. Now, this one, number 16, J-Dub, is where the list gets spicy. J-Dub is one of the most versatile young wings in the league. He can score, defend, play make, all at a solid to high level, and he fits perfectly in OKC's young system. But why is he not higher? Because he's not yet the primary star. I mean, he's incredible, but he's still Shea's co-star. Arguably should be third best player behind Shea. Chet should have been. You could argue Chet should be on this list ahead of D-Book, but that was really close. But he's not. He's not the guy carrying the franchise. Like, let's be real. But why is he here and this high? Because his two-way impact is undeniable. I mean, he's already one of the most complete, all-around, well-rounded two-way young players in the league. And when we talk about the NBA, the only reason why he's not higher is that he hasn't proven it on absolute biggest stage consistently. Yeah, I know he had that 40-point game, but better consistency in the playoffs really needed to get in the top 15. Which is why at number 15 we got Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, defensive anchor. That's why he's number 15. Defensive anchor, versatile big, someone who looks like he's going to dominate the center position for the next decade. So why is he not higher? His offense isn't quite consistent enough yet. I mean, 20 and 10 on the 65, near 65 on Cavs team. He's still not. He doesn't have a go-to scoring package or a jumper. If he had those things, he might even be top 10. But why is he still above J-Dub? Because Mobley's defense can single-handedly shift games. In my opinion, he's the second best defender in the league behind Wemby and even above Jet. An elite rim protector, but I would say those three are the undeniable top three. An elite rim protectors who can switch into guards are one of the most valuable archetypes in basketball today. Like, let's be real. But with all that being said, I can't put him any higher because of some of the things I highlighted. And even though Evan Mobley might have potential, he's just not there yet. Which is why at number 14 we got an older player. We got Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Cat, I know you might seem a little high for y'all, but number 14 is Cat, one of the best shooting bigs in NBA history, still in his prime, even scoring bigs, let alone shooting. As a matter of fact, offensive bigs. So why is he not higher? Defense and consistency. You don't always know which version of Cat you're going to get. And compared to AD or Jokic, his defense holds him back. Jokic, in my opinion, is arguably the GOAT offensive player ever, and AD is an elite two-way player. Maybe not an elite two-way player, but he's still a great two-way player at this point in his career. But why is he not lower? Because offensively, his spacing and versatility as a big make him a nightmare matchup. You can't put him lower than Mobley when he's a proven 20-plus point per game scorer who could also rebound and stretch the floor on an elite level and has consistently made deep playoff runs as a second best player. Not too far away from first, to be honest. But he can't be any higher because of some of the things I highlighted. But Cat is still top 15, which some of y'all might think is high. Compared to number 13, AD, who might be a little low for some of y'all. Number 13, like I said, AD, lead defender, still a top tier big. Why is he not higher? Because his offense can be inconsistent, and like Kawhi, availability has always been a question. And when we talk about availability and inconsistency, now he's still great in the playoffs, but when we talk about those things, let's be real. Why is he not lower? Because when healthy, AD is still one of the best defenders in basketball. I'd actually argue a French top 10 defender, capable of shutting down the paint and switching out to guard. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do in Dallas next year with Cooper Flag, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, etc. But yeah, I mean, we already know one of the best defenders in basketball. Shutting down the pace, switching out to guards, making him a great pick and roll defender, even which helps him in the playoffs and become an even more valuable and underrated defender. That defensive dominance keeps him in the top 15 comfortably, but still not ahead of number 12, which is Cade Cunningham. Number 12, we got Cade, the young leader of Pistons. Cade has quickly become one of the smoothest all-around guards in the league. So why is he not higher? He hasn't led a deep playoff run yet, and efficiency sometimes lags behind other stars. And defense, I just don't think it's quite there yet, but like I said, it's still really high compared to what some of y'all might think. Cade just came off a great year, and I actually really like Cade too. I mean that may be a little bit put into it, but why is he here? Why is he this high? Because his size, playmaking, and scoring touch making the definition of his future franchise superstar. He may not be an elite top 7 superstar in the league, but he's definitely a solidified star. And although he's not as explosive as an Ant or a Shea, legit superstars in the league. And like I said, the latter of which I just named, in my opinion, is the BITW. I'll let y'all figure out what it is. But his IQ and poise already have him brushing against the top 10. Which is why, coming in at number 11, we got a guy just missing out on the top 10, Jalen Brunson. Brunson, number 11, he's a guy who's broken out as one of the league's best playoff scorers. Put the Knicks back on the map and carry them deep. And he was one win away from making it to the back conference finals, and he lost to Indiana 2 years in a row. But you could argue that of the mid 2020s, New York has been a comfortable top 3 team. You could argue that, and that's because Jalen Brunson has become one of the most reliable offensive engines in the NBA. Few guards can consistently create offense for themselves and others like he does, which is why he's not lower. So why isn't he higher? Because while he's a great scorer, he doesn't have the defensive presence or physical dominance of the guys ahead. these type of limitations make him a little bit easier to scheme compared to my top 10, which is why he can't be any higher. But he's still pretty high at number 11. A huge testament to how good JB is as a player. Coming in at number 10, we got Donovan Mitchell. Number 10 is Donovan Mitchell. D-Mitch. He's similar to Brunson, but more athletic, more proven, and more versatile as a scorer. And why isn't he higher than him? He hasn't quite shown the big knock on D-Mitch. He hasn't quite shown he can carry the team all the way in the playoffs as the number one option. We've seen him do this constantly, year in after year in, and over the last 3 years, being a solid number one option on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Matter of fact, almost winning 65 games and clinching the first seed last year. And D-Mitch has had 2 borderline All-NBA first-team seasons in the last 3 years, 2023 and this year. But, he just hasn't had that playoff success. But why is he above Brunson? Because he's a more dynamic scorer, in my opinion, and a better defender when locked in. D-Mitch has consistently been a top-tier guard in both regular season and playoffs, and the defense is what does it. Ahead of JB for me. Coming in at number 9, because I know this might seem shocking, we got Tyrese Haliburton. Number 9, we got Hallie. Although he's hurt right now, I'm still including him because, we still saw what he did last year. Talking about the engine of Indiana's offense and one of the best passers in the league. Why is he not higher? His defense is still not that good. He hasn't been the best player. He hasn't been the best player on a championship team yet, but he has been the best player on a team one win away from the finals. And in terms of his transition offense, his shooting ability, his off-ball game, his playmaking ability, like I already highlighted, all elite. So why is he here? Because offensively, he's a mastermind. The way he controls pace, spacing, and tempo puts him above Donovan Mitchell and Brunson. And in my opinion, makes him better, just a clearly better offensive player than D-Mitch, even what he's done in terms of leading the offense. Defensively, it's a toss-up, offensively between him and Brunson, but he's already one of the best playmaking guards we've seen in NBA history to me. Which is why, number 8, we got Steph Curry. Number 8, we got Steph. He's still the greatest shooter ever. Still capable of single-handedly warping defenses. But might be at why is he not higher and not a top 7 superstar like I highlighted earlier in the video? Age. At this point, he can't dominate the way he did from 2013 to 2022. His off-ball movement is still deadly, but the physical wear and tear means he's not. At this point, he can't dominate the way he did from 2013 to 2023. My bad. His off-ball defense is still deadly. Off-ball movement is still deadly, but the physical wear and tear means he's not an every night destroyer anymore, or at least as consistent as he was in the 2010s and even very, very, very the early 20s. So why is he not? Why is he lower? Because he's still Steph. Defense is still game plan around him like no one else, and his gravity alone makes him a top 10 player. That level of offensive impact, I would even argue that they would have beaten Minnesota last year and made the conference finals if Steph was healthy, but who knows, and that's just that. Coming in at number 7, we got Victor Wembanyama. Number 7 is Wemby already? Why is he here? Because defensively, he's already the best defender in the league. Rim protection, shot blocking, switchability, help defense, paint protection, like I said, off-ball defense, etc. He changes games. Wemby changes games just by existing on the basketball floor. Combine that with a budding offensive arsenal, and you've got a future best player in the league. But for now, Wemby being a top 7 player feels just right. So why is he not higher? Because he's still young and his offensive consistency isn't all the way there. Combined with the fact that he has had durability issues and he can't really finish a season as a legit All-NBA player like we haven't seen here. I can't put him any higher. We haven't seen him in the playoffs yet, which is also a big budding difference between the top 6. As everyone in the top 6 has made it to at least the conference finals as the best guy, and even everyone in the top 5 has made it to the finals. That's why I can't put him any higher, partially why. But number 6, we got Anthony Edwards. Number 6, he's become the face of USA basketball, the leader of Minnesota, and the superstar scorer. And in my opinion, a 1A, 1B best player in the USA, along with him in number 5, and the superstar scorer, like I said, leader of Minnesota. And why is he here? Because of his combination of athleticism, scoring, two-way play. He's unmatched outside the top 5. And also has that MJ Kobe mentality. I'm the number one. Fuck you. I'm backing it up with the results. That's something I really love about him. That's a go-getter mentality that I've really been high on him for years now, especially over the last 2 years. So why isn't he higher? He's still developing as a playmaker, as a mid-range shooter, as a complete scorer, and he hasn't yet carried a team to the finals. Also, I just feel like Ant's flaws, his obvious flaws, I just can't put him into top five, top three tier yet. But he's young, and I definitely can see him being top three one day. Coming in at number five, we got every superstar that is over 25, unlike Ant. So no one under the age of 25 is actually in my top five, which leads us to number five. Mr. Unfortunate Achilles to himself, Jason Tatum. Tatum versus Ant was a tough one, but we're talking about the leader of Boston, an MVP candidate, and an NBA champion here. Like, let's be real, and the best player in the championship team, obviously. He's here because you might be asking why is he this high, especially because of the injury, but he has proven that he can be the best player on a title team. His two-way impact keeps him in the elite tier, even though his offense might seem a tad bit behind the actual superstars. But I would say that offensively, Tatum's probably the sixth best guy out of every superstar, out of every top seven superstar. But Tatum's blend of side shooting and defense makes him one of the best all-around wings in the league. But why isn't he higher? Because his offensive consistency can come and go, and he doesn't quite dominate and take over games at the level of the top four that consistently, in my opinion. Which is why at number four we got Luka Doncic, Luka Magic. Number four is Luka. And as a Laker fan, I feel absolutely flustered. I mean, we got Luka on a long-term deal. We're talking about an offensive genius here. I mean, Luka could score from anywhere. His playmaking is elite. What he's done in the playoffs is elite. Leadership, his on-ball creation, etc. Now, why isn't he higher? I mean, defense, and we just haven't yet to see condition Luka on the floor yet. He probably might be top three. He might be top three once we see that, but he's still vulnerable on defense. And his play style, in terms of as a heavy on-ball isolation player, sometimes makes teammates stand around. And his off-ball game just isn't there. But why is he here and that high? Because offensively, he's one of the three most unstoppable players in the league. Luka's ability to carry an offense is why he cracked the top four. Being the best player on the finals team is why he also cracks his high. Unlike every other under 30-ish player that was behind him. Coming in at number three, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number three is Giannis. Still one of the most dominant physical forces in basketball. And I couldn't put him any higher in terms of legit top two best in the world player because of his shooting limitations, still capping him slightly in half-court playoff settings. We still have yet to see Giannis make the conference finals in 5 years. We still have yet to see Giannis make it out the first round in 4 years, and all of this, it's just frustrating for me. I couldn't put him any higher, but he's still this high because he's a two-time MVP, for God's sake, a Finals MVP, best player in the title team, and arguably the best transition player ever. Second to me. Even with limitations, Giannis still impacts winning at an elite level. He's gotten better offensively every year, even though defensively he's definitely fallen off, which is why I say his peak has been 3 to 5 years ago and not here anymore. But offensively, as Giannis has continued to go, we need to see how he'll do in a conference final setting before. But still, coming in at number two, we got Nikola Jokic. Number two is Joker. Jokic, the best offensive big man, and in my opinion, undeniably the best offensive big man we've ever seen, and the best offensive player we've ever seen, and one of the smartest, highest IQ basketball players in NBA history. And why is Jokic not higher? Because he doesn't quite have the same two-way athleticism as the guy number one. Nor can I put a dominant regular and postseason combined at number two. At number one. At number two, combined with the fact that I just did number one. Sorry, I spoiled it. I played him in the playoffs this year. But why is he here? Because Joker's passing, scoring IQ, making the most complete offensive player. You could argue he's the best player in the world. Period. I'd actually be fine with that. It's close to me. Which is why, coming in at number one, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander this year. And at number one, we got Shai. Why Shai? Because in 2025, he's become one of the best two-way guard in the NBA, in my opinion, best two-way player in the league. But still not best all-around player in the league. I'd say that's Joker, but he scores at all three levels, plays elite defense at his position, and has led OKC to the top of the West and the top of the NBA, being the best player on this championship team. And actually having a really good playoff run. Not all-time great, but probably second tier for him. So, why is he not lower? Because, unlike Luka, defense is legit. Unlike Giannis, his skill set works everywhere on the floor. And unlike Jokic, he's quicker and more versatile. And unlike every other player, just better, And Shai's a guy right now, the most complete, most balanced superstar in the NBA in basketball, a guy who's had one of the best basketball seasons ever. Led OKC to a title. Completely no flaws in this game. See y'all later.